Can Dak keep them rolling in Dallas?
Speak on it,
baby?
Jack.
Hey,
Speak on it.
hottest QB in the NFL. Can he keep it going? Everybody thought we was going to go a ground and pound with Mike McCarthy. No. Dak is still the man in Dallas. Let's see how he rolls this weekend.
Yeah, speaking of Dak, he had this to say yesterday about this heater that he's been on. Take a listen.
I can tell you the way that I feel, the confidence that I have in this group myself. Zone, I guess you can call it, whatever it is. Talked about it over and over, the coaches, just the chemistry of this team. Yeah, by far the best I've ever felt. And it's not just me, it's a lot of the things around me.
Okay, so I got to ask the question here. Right now, is Dak Prescott the best QB in the NFL at this very second?
Absolutely. He's playing the quarterback position better than anybody else in the NFL right now. And everybody's going to go to, hey, it's the competition. Well, guess what? Whoever you're playing, you got to go play, and he has played that way. They're averaging 34 points and 417 yards. I don't care who you're playing. In the NFL, they still got dudes on the other side, and he's showing up. It's the CeeDee Lamb show. Guys getting 13 targets per game. Think back to Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. Himbo and I were just talking about that. Back in the day when they fed through him, that's exactly what Dak is doing with CeeDee Lamb. Guys got 60. I mean, the way this offense is running is the way that we knew Dak could carry them. Everybody wanted to go ground and pound. He has shown up. They're inviting Brandon Cooks to the party a little bit. I like where they and Ferguson obviously getting healthy now. It's going to be a good offense to watch the rest of the season.
Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's playing lights out. To your point, Jeff, he's finally tapped in to his number one receiver. This is kind of the chemistry he had with Witten back in the day when he was very young and we were seeing all the potential. But with Dak Prescott, it's always about how he plays in critical moments and against good teams. Because when you are an elite quarterback or you're a quarterback that people are talking about as being one of the best and maybe MVP candidate at times, you have to show you could do it against the great teams. He has played lights out. I am not taking anything away from him. But the Chargers secondary, open sesame. Eagles secondary, open sesame. Giants secondary, open sesame. The Commanders secondary have been open sesame. I love it. Do what you're supposed to do against those level opponents. But I want to see it late in the season and in these critical moments so we can truly put you where you belong in that elite quarterback conversation.
You know what I love about
Kmart's going to come with it. I know she's going to come. But
Yeah.
Kmart, you got to look at this. Remember at the beginning of the season when Mike McCarthy is like, I'm calling plays, they basically handcuffed Dak and said, you know what, I'm going to go conservative, I'm going to go ground and pound. And I think they found out that, look, Tony Pollard, he's a little light in the tush. They can't go ground and pound. So you know what? We got to evolve. We got to put the ball in the hands of Dak and let him make plays. And all of a sudden, I think they found their identity. You look over the last 4 games, QBR, he's number 1. Pass touchdown, 13 of them. Nobody has more than 9 over the last 4 games. Completion percentage, 71%. You tell me why he's not the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
No, the numbers support that. What I loved about what Hawk said was, I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but look at everything else that I'm going to point to that says he's like none of this matters right now. And I think the conversation between Jeff and Hawk right now illustrates the larger issue with Dak. What happens right now? No one okay, so you beat the Panthers. That everybody's going to point to the schedule. Yes, you play who's on your schedule, but when we talk about power rankings and where you put teams, you say, well, in that conference, in that division, they haven't really played anybody yet. That's the reality. Dak is playing lights out, but I think it's bigger than Dak. I think this is a Mike McCarthy situation as far as him actually realizing, CeeDee Lamb. He is a number 1 receiver. We need to feature Tony Pollard. And I think it's Mike McCarthy changing the way he's calling plays that opens things up for Dak. Dak, to me, was never the question mark for this team.
And when you talk about the Eagles, look, he played great against the Eagles. Had he not stepped out of bounds when he was diving to try that touchdown, they probably win that football game. So it brings me to the question. I think the Cowboys are 2 games back when you talk about it. Can they catch the Eagles, you think?
They cannot. Because I think the Eagles are in a different class, and I'm just being real. The Eagles played offensively. They played an average game against the Kansas City Chiefs and still found a way to win. And so if you can be 9-1 and you still haven't really gotten played near your ceiling, that's telling you something. I would have loved to see the Cowboys went and got Derrick Henry at the trade deadline. They need some bodies on that can go, bring your own blocker type mentality, right? That's what's going to ultimately cause them, because to Kimberly's point, In the playoffs, it ain't just about your quarterback. Everybody else has got to do their part. He can carry them only so far. The other guys are going to have to pick up their game and make it happen. That's Cooks, that's Pollard, that's Ferguson. Those guys are going to have that. I just don't see them catching.
Are you sure you want to have that take, Jeff, the day before Thanksgiving? Because the Prescott family is thinking that you're coming over.
I am coming over.
Now you're saying, I don't know if we can win the division.
No,
so I don't know.
They're 9-1. I mean, they've already stepped it. But when they get the playoffs, it's, hey, we're still family. You know what I mean? But hey, 9-1, they just beat the Chiefs on the road. It's a tough catch.
Mark, what do you think? Can they catch the Eagles?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because the Eagles have their record in spite of the way that they've played this season, specifically offensively. They have not shown the chemistry. They have a new play caller in Coach Johnson, and they just haven't been on the same page. Did an incredible job making adjustments against the Kansas City Chiefs, but what happens late in these games is that their big-time playmakers step up and make huge plays to close out wins. And typically it's like, man, that's cause for concern. But no, they are stacking W's. They are the number one team in the league in spite of not reaching anywhere near their potential. And I think that's just scary. And for the Cowboys, who are kind of the opposite, they're playing as good as we've seen them in years. It's going to be tough to make headway on that lead.
You know, I think the good thing for the Cowboys is when you look at the Eagles schedule, they're going through the gauntlet now. You know, they got the Bills, the Dolphins, all of those type of teams coming up now. Cowboys get a couple of cupcakes, so to speak, here over the next couple of games.
Just jinxed them.
Before
Look at that.
they run through that gauntlet.
Yeah, their last 3 games are going to be tough.
Yeah.
So, they face their gauntlet at the end of the season. Hopefully, like you said, they have built enough confidence to carry them through. And they'll face the Eagles again at home.
Yes.
Which is, that's going to be the mark.
Telltale sign there, if it's for real. All right, Steelers will make the playoffs after the Matt Canada firing. Is that fact or fiction?
Oh, this is a tough one. I'm going to say fiction because I only have 2 options, a fact or fiction. But the reality is you're changing offensive coordinators at the most crucial point in the season, right? And you're going into this division, the best division in football, and looking at what they have down the stretch, it's going to be tough sledding for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, you know, Mike Tomlin spoke yesterday about the decision to let Canada go and how the team plans to move forward.
Did not come to this decision lightly, to be really transparent with you. It's just a personal belief of mine from a leadership perspective. It is my role to absorb and protect those that I work with. And this doesn't feel like that. I'm focused on this week in terms of the development of Kenny. You know, we're not urinating on the fire, man. We're getting ready to play a football game and win this week.
Leave it to Mike Tomlin to say something like that.
Say with such intensity. Okay.
To me, the key, what he just said, the development of Kenny Pickett. Because you got to think now, you're looking squarely at that quarterback and saying, okay, you're a first-round pick. They've gotten rid of the offensive coordinator. You got to deliver now.
Yeah. From the outside looking in, the timing of the move was surprising, even for some people in the building. But the reality is, Matt Canada did lose guys in that locker room on offense. Maybe not all, but enough where something had to be done. The problem in Pittsburgh goes beyond just Matt Canada, though. Yes, some league execs have told me their offense very elementary, easy to figure out. They don't even use the weapons that they have. However, other execs I've spoken to have said, you know what, replacing the OC, that's not going to be enough if your QB is limited, not reading defenses quickly enough, and not actually being accurate with his passes that he is targeting his key receivers. So we'll see. I think I have their game this weekend, so I'm interested to see how this springboards them and if it's sustainable. Because this 6-4 record that they have, it's good, but it does not mask all the issues that they have offensively.
Okay, so then let me go to the guy who we know has coached. Will getting rid of that offensive coordinator make a difference for the Steelers?
It's going to make a difference for Kenny Pickett because it's going to put a spark in understanding, hey, I'm playing for my job.
Right.
Like you just saw one dude take it fall, right? He's gone, and at this point, it's now all on you. I would say the biggest probably indictment to Matt Canada is last year when you looked at Kenny Pickett and Pickens, they were like 97.8 out of 100, meaning that's the guy you go to. He's 37th in targets this season. Like, you got to go find your guy. And I think Pickens will be a much bigger part of the offense. I think Johnson, I think they found Warren, which will be a big help. They can run the football, Najee Harris. But to Kmart's point, when Najee said what he said, and Deontay Johnson and Pickens had really started this weeks ago, that was what forced Mike Tomlin's hand. It's not about fans, it's not about that pressure, but when you feel like inside your locker room, and so now all that pressure that was focused at Matt Canada is going to go to Kenny Pickett. Like, make no mistake how it falls in the locker room. That dude has got to be your dude to compete in this division.
But in fairness, Najee talked about how, this isn't sustainable. We also need Najee to be better, too.
Yeah.
Jalen Warren has come out and proven, I deserve to be the number one back here.
Yeah.
But when you are targeted, when you are given the rock, you got to make plays.
That's right.
So it goes. That entire team has to be better.
But a lot of it always falls on the quarterback. And given what Jeff just said, Hawk, what do you think? Is Kenny Pickett playing for his job, you think, this season now?
Absolutely. That's NFL football. Everybody is playing for their jobs. What Kmart said is absolutely right. You look at Warren. You look at this offense. Yeah, Matt Canada was probably outmatched a little bit. First NFL team he's worked for. Again, week in and week out, it looked like the Pittsburgh Steelers were at a disadvantage. But when Warren got the opportunity, he made plays. It didn't matter what the scheme was. When his opportunity was to execute, it would happen. And for Kenny Pickett, that's what we're looking for. That even within that offense, there's wide open receivers down the field. There are moments you have to step up and fill the pocket. There are throws that you should be making as the NFL quarterback that Kenny Pickett has not done. And so when they make this move, it is not taken lightly for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is one of the most loyal organizations in the NFL, if not the most loyal. And I know we talk year in and year out about the job that Mike Tomlin does, and we routinely say, oh, this is his best coaching job. I truly believe this year, for the record they have and the offensive output that they've put on the field, is his best coaching job. And now it's time for Kenny Pickett as a quarterback to prove to everybody it was Matt Canada, not me. Now I feel loose. Now the game will slow down and I can make the plays that I've been tasked to make as a starting quarterback for this organization.
Let me say this to what Hawk is saying. From a coaching perspective and from what Matt Canada has been doing, and he is going to take the brunt of all criticism. They have not had a 400-yard game in 2 years. So I'm not trying to absolve Matt Canada. But to Hawk's point, man, when you're missing, if you're the coordinator and you're calling plays and your quarterback is missing wide over, crossers and wide open touchdowns, and he's not accurate with the football, why change the play, right? If your play design is getting guys open, it's very difficult for coaches to go back and go, hey, I'm going to make these massive changes. I think fans want to see changes, but when you know it was like the Justin Fields situation early in the season, right? What gets you, it's like, if you're seeing these open receivers and we're not hitting them, is it the coordinator or is it the quarterback? It's the quarterback's time now to show it was the coordinator, not me. Because I'm telling you, you show up inaccurate again, bro, there ain't no more excuses. Ain't no more explanations. Yeah. It's, I can't do my gig.
One-word answer. Still buying Steelers as a playoff contender?
Oh, yeah, I'm buying everybody in the AFC North.
What do you get?
Yes, I am. I think they get to 10 wins. I got the Bengals twice without Joe Burrow. I think they get there.